Tug lightly on this bowl of mine. Well, my screen has seen some better times. Well, my buddy poked a hole, now my weed falls deep inside. Please tug lightly on this bowl of mine.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother.
our company. Some of it was appearing at what is the market price that everyone else is selling. I kind of reverse engineered it a little bit. See, the provinces don't tell you what they mark it up, by the way. So you're kind of guessing. You're trying to get a little feedback and trying to. They don't tell you. You kind of get a little vibe what they mark it up, and you guess. But what we did was, we know we have to make certain amount of money per gram, just like a black market dealer or anybody. You got to make profit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Canada, there's a $1 excise tax federally per gram of dried cannabis. Can't get by it. So on a $3.50 is on top of your can no matter what you do. So we would sell it. They call it DPLC, duty paid landed costs, to OCS. I'll pick Ontario. So we would pick a price to them. They get it. Then they do their own markup because OCS, like, they're a middleman. They are a wholesaler. They got to make money. And then your provincial sales tax, and that's the price. So really, that's why it's hard to compete with the black market, because there's that middleman fucking makes it tight.
They take the rest of it.
Like the grow legal cannabis and the testing. Like a cannabinoid test full profile, about $1,200-$1,400 on a batch, right? So there's right off the get go.
Plus you're losing. Plus you lose your stock as well, right?
Yeah, but honestly, we tried to. Like, I apologize. I wish I could make it cheaper, but
you can only do so much. It's a business.
Put it this way: what someone's paying from a gray market, black market dealer, that's pretty much what we sell it for. But then you get hit with the tax markups.
So you're trying to keep things low enough so that people can afford it.
I'll admit we could have probably put one or two of our products out there, and they would have been on par with some of those $50, $60 products that you've seen. That's fucked up. Nobody wants to do that. We tried to make it as cheap as we can, but each province is different.
Yes. Yes.
$60 for an eighth on the legal market doesn't compare with $60 for a quarter on the black market.
No.
It would be a little bit better. Honestly, the best way, this is my opinion, is if an LP could sell directly to patients, almost like a craft brewery.
Well, you know what? I hope that happens, because it
that's how you'll get the prices down. Because if I could grow it and sell it directly, it would take quite a bit of money down. Still have the sales tax on there.
Right. Is that ever going to happen, though?
I don't know. Probably not, to be honest.
Here in the States, they're saying that the vertically integrated companies, regardless of the segment that they started out in or specialize in, are the ones most likely to best weather economic hard times. So vertical integration is it's a really big deal,
No, it does. I agree, and I wish we could sell it. Just we don't have the platform. And again, Canada's fucked. Every province is different.
So, okay. So now I want to broach something that happened a couple of weeks ago. Not my arm. Yes, I fell. And thank you for all the reaching out, everybody. I appreciate it. But you want to talk about it, Marcel?
What happened a couple of weeks ago?
Your little conversation you had and comments.
Oh.
Because, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I flat out invited this guy to come on the show, and he, you know the rest.
I didn't. You know what? I haven't even read it because he was doing it on my wall too.
Neither have I.
So I only dealt with him on my wall, and it shut him up. But he unfriended me, which is fine.
Well,
just one of the many people out there that don't pay attention to what's fucking going on around them.
No, we're not.
It's not like it was a secret. It's not like Marcel.
Fuck! I told everybody a year ago that I was going to work there.
And no, he's not. And no, he's not a traitor.
Well, the thing that really gets me is, as advocates, as patients, we need to understand that just because somebody is in the legal side of cannabis does not make them a traitor, does not make them evil. If anything, I want to see these advocates on the inside, in the legal side, making these choices for us rather than somebody who never has used cannabis before. You know, like I would rather see somebody like Marcel in this position.
If people realized how much... But if people realized how much bitching me and Lenny do with the medical side in this company, and Darcy, but
yeah, Darcy doesn't just
it's a constant fight for us to try and better patients.
Do you want me to really pull the curtain back a little bit?
Please do.
Go for it. Please. You're the boss, dude.
Well, let's for people right off the get-go. For people, honestly, Marcel, Darcy, and MJ and Kurt, we just come on this for fun. We just so happen to work for Truro Cannabis. For people that really don't fucking know, I am one of the co-founders.
Mary Jane.
I am a board member. I am the chief science officer, and I am the COO of Truro Cannabis. I don't come on here to promote Truro Cannabis too often because I feel like a dick. But guess what? With all those titles, I still don't go what the fuck I want. I don't have oral cannabis.
He doesn't get oral.
I have no oil. I have no capsules for my medical patients yet.
Yeah, that's...
Quite frankly, we ran out of money. We have to sell a little bit of product on the adult use market, get some capital, then we can buy the tinctures and formulations to get that going right. It is what it is. It took us 7 fucking years to get a license and onto the market.
I know.
Darcy was there from the get-go.
It sure did, Lenny. So.
Oh, yeah. So, no, like, things don't go the way we want. I wish I can give my weight. I wish we could fucking sell for $3 or $4 a gram. We can't. Excise tax. But guess what? You have to try. And for all the pricks that were shitting on Marcel, and yes, I'll call you a prick, he's braver than any motherfucker one of you guys. He stuck his neck out. He told everyone he was going on there. And he's trying. And guess what? We fucking don't win most of the times. But one of these days, we keep yapping. We're going to get our way and try to make it better.
Well, no, because now we have a new plan. Legalization came about because of the medical program, so we're going to use legalization to pay for our medical program.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
But I know.
Way to look at it.
I said I didn't post on Facebook. I was pissed when I saw some of these comments about Marcel. I think Darcy as well, incredibly brave, putting their head out there.
So what it is, Lenny?
This is also free. If you don't want to go buy adult use fucking recreational tax cannabis, don't fucking do it. Grow your own.
Don't call it fucking poison and garbage
until you try it.
Ever fucking trying it. Right?
I'm trying it. I'm trying it, and I'm liking
garbage, Marcel, for the fact that you never called my shit poison and garbage before, so why are you calling it now?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I just want to point out that I, MJ Baker, do not work or are affiliated in any way with cannabis, and I will say that they are one of the only LPs that I've been waiting for to get their license because I have received tainted cannabis from an LP that I'm still waiting for the lawsuit to go through. You know what I mean? Like, I trust patients and advocates over any guy in a business suit that has never consumed cannabis a day in his life. So I would prefer to have advocates.
Can I punch in here?
Only point.
Yeah, go ahead. But no, I hate being all negative, and I'm sorry to interrupt. But no, I just Al brought it up. But no, I just we do this for fun. And listen, if nobody wants to buy our cannabis or anybody else's cannabis, that's fine. If someone, honestly, I'll even say our first crop out there, I don't think we flushed it well. We can do better. I've seen better buds on the market than ours. I think the nitrogen cans and our moisture is probably the best in Canada. I'll shoot my mouth out there.
They were nice and fresh when I opened them up.
So
nice and nice.
No, traditionally, like I say, Al has some curiosity, and I think Al thinks some of the listeners might have some curiosity about what it's like to be kind of inside the LP world.
You know what? You know what?
Here you go. I am smoking legal cannabis from Truro Cannabis and it's fucking excellent.
When Marcel came on the show, there wasn't even a hint of LPs back then.
Yeah.
And he came on the show because I bugged him for about 3 years to come on the show. I
was on before that as guest several times.
But and we even moved to Fridays to accommodate so that he could do that. I was that day for me was a very bad day. It was the start of a very bad day. Those comments, because later on in the day is when I fell. I don't represent one with the other, of course, but it was the start, and it struck a chord because, you know, we've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for that kind of a response, Len. And
oh yeah, no, it did. But yeah, to be honest, there's a reason I'm not too active on Facebook because I get tired of the social.
Well, you know what? I didn't
anyway.
I didn't engage it. I didn't want to be a part of it, but and that's why I'm saying something now. Marcel and Darcy and Lenny are here because I've asked them to be here because I enjoy spending my Friday evenings. They are my friends. I don't work for Truro Cannabis. I pay for everything myself through donations and friends who want to see. I've been doing this 12 fucking years. If I was in it for the fucking money, I guarantee you I wouldn't be still sitting here staring out my fucking window. Okay.
That's the other drawback is we legally cannot pay you for sponsorship or anything like that.
But we can't advertise,
and that's not what I'm looking for. Never has been.
No, but there's a reason. But but there's a reason we don't try to go too crazy on this about Truro Cannabis. I feel like an asshole anyway.
And if you listen to our conversations, 99% of the time, anytime Truro is brought up, it's from myself, Mary Jane, or somebody else who does not work for them. They're asking a question. I find it very interesting that I have access to 3 gentlemen who work for a legal production company in Canada.
Well, I'll give a shout out to my local, was it Grow and Brew?
It's a Grow and Brew,
Grow and Brew in town. I was going to get I needed some pH down and a couple other things.
Did you end up with a new tent out of there?
What's that?
Is that where you got your new tent?
No, I didn't. I won't say where.
Maybe you'll get one now.
It was kind of I'm co-sharing the tent. Long story, but
cool.
But it was also fun. Jamie's the guy that works there. Nice guy. No, he knows I'm a Truro Cannabis. Asked a question, and we had a nice long conversation. Like most people don't even realize, even us naming cannabis, there's regulations and acts about it, right? So we had to change some of the names.
Yes.
Of the cultivars and strains.
Yes.
So it's just the rules are interesting, and most people aren't aware. So it's kind of, I think that's what Al and maybe MJ find interesting.
I find it interesting because, like, we've got we will never be able to take a camera and walk through the garden. I mean, that's just not how it happens. But in the U.S., you could, Kurt? You could find somebody.
Heck
yeah.
Hell yeah.
You can't do that here.
Vegas, you get to the fucking off the airplane and there's fucking cannabis ads and taxis and nothing but cannabis friggin' advertisements on it. It's like, Jesus Christ, totally opposite of Canada.
It's the billboards here are either dispensaries, adult use dispensaries, or injury attorneys, because they drive like crazy on the freeways. Yeah.
I saw some lady buses too.
And I agree with Lenny. This should have been flushed a little bit longer.
So, I think whoa.
But Al's been smoking it tonight. What do you think of it, Al?
I'm thinking whatever that was, it scared the shit out of me.
Is that my house? What was that?
Sounded like a robot.
It sounded like a smoke alarm. That's what it sounded like.
I think it's my house, apparently. I'm just my wife staring at me. No?
Are you smoking up the house? It was Hillary's fault.
Okay.
Let's blame it on Hillary.
Yeah. Where's Dale at tonight, anyways?
Yeah, where's Dale?
I was down talking to him. He knows we have a show.
He's watching on the watch party I started.
Yeah.
Ah. He's being sneaky tonight.
He's being sneaky.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them there.
Is there? I'll come over there too.
But I also believe in the whole freedom of choice. So if somebody doesn't like something, just turn it off or don't buy it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean,
you know what? Same as masks. If you don't feel you should wear a mask and don't want to wear one, I don't think you should have to. But anyway, I can't control that one.
We're not trying to win a Grammy here. We're just trying to hang out with a bunch. You know, we're just friends. We're hanging out on Friday. We've been doing it so long now that it's just something we do. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, well, have a nice night. Go and watch your sports TV. Now, speaking of sports, Leonard,
soft porn,
popcorn.
No, soft porn. They're not watching sports. They're watching soft porn.
Soft porn.
Oh, fuck that. They're watching hard porn.
Fuck soft porn.
Okay,
man.
well,
they're just watching porn.
I was trying to keep it PG-13.
Soft
porn
is like an insult, man.
Soft porn
is an insult.
I just wait to
a
see how
woman.
many babies there's going to be. Like, there's going to be a baby boom next
you think?
winter. Yep.
We'll call the babies the coronials.
The coronials.
That's actually awesome.
That's very good.
The coronials.
Hopefully they don't turn out like wall lickers.
No, well, I don't know.
So
things are getting bad. Things are getting bad with this whole COVID shit. This province here has gone 15 days without any cases. The day they make everybody wear masks mandatory in public, we get 2 new cases.
I think they were just. I think they're
laggy gaggers.
I think they were set up, Marcel, to be out saying so everyone make sure they wear their mask.
They're laggy gaggers. They're slow.
I think it's
Technically, the cases happened yesterday. They announced it today.
Yeah.
I think it might just be a false sense of security. Everybody feels that if they have this mask on, that they're safe. Yet I seen one person at the Walmart checkout with one hand down the back of her pants and a mask on, and I was like, really? You're definitely going to get sick because clearly you're not hot. Like,
hygiene's not high on your list.
Hey, just make sure. Until it's her, MJ.
Got a mask on.
I went out to the store today and I wore a mask.
Speaking of COVID, you're going to have to get Dr. Bob back on, Al. Let him do some rants again.
I'll work on that for September.
Yep.
I wore my mask and my nose was uncovered the entire time. Nobody even looked at me.
You know what? I sat at Sunnybrook in the corner. I went right for the corner in the fracture clinic, just with it, just right here. It's just so I could breathe properly. Nobody was near me. Nobody said anything to me. And then I had a little nibble of my bagel and then put it back. But it was, I spent 7 hours in emerge and triage without any fresh air. And I was not a happy camper. I have to go do it again on, I can't remember what day. The 11th.
Al, I have a trick for you. I've got a trick for all of you. Apparently, you don't need a mask if you're eating. So just make sure you've always got like a little bag of something with you, and then
that's my trick at the pharmacy.
And that works
I
really
drink
good at the
coffee all
grocery
day.
store.
I drink coffee all day.
At the grocery store, if you time it right, you can have it all eaten before you get to the checkout and don't have to pay for it.
That sounds so Marcel.
Well, I wear my mask. I can't see because if I wear my mask up over my nose, it fogs my glasses. So I put it down under my nose. But I wasn't in a really good mood today. So I was kind of hoping somebody would say something to me, but
oh god,
they didn't.
Hey, Leonard.
What's going on, Kurt, down in the U.S. for COVID? I hear all these crazy news stories. The world's fucking ending.
I hear you.
Or is that just Canadian media fucking blowing her up?
I think all kind of the mass media is a bit twisted right now. It's I've been very, very happy that for the past couple weeks I've been distracted by a big documentation project, so I can just ignore, Kanye West's latest attempt to not take his meds or whatever. It's just fucking insane sometimes.
I kind of like Lenny. I try not to watch the news.
Yeah.
Well, I usually don't. just because it's I'm not going total fake news, but they cherry pick and looking for bad and sensationalism and
That's it.
Anytime you have an advertising-driven communications medium, it's going to be biased toward those advertisers. And that's not inherently a bad thing, but it can be corrupted easily, obviously.
Yeah, they used to call it payola.
Yeah, exactly. 1950s radio and Elvis Presley and all that stuff, yeah.
Well, radio has
Darcy
always...
shared a cool article today, back to fun cannabis stuff. Was there
Okay.
some court case in Alberta, Darcy, about THC levels?
Yes, there was. I didn't get a chance to read the whole article, but what it's summing up is that it's unconstitutional for the government to set THC levels.
Oh, that's cool. That's good for you guys.
That's interesting.
So because they're saying that you can't put no more than 10 milligrams into one package for an edible, and for medical, and they're telling medical patients now that you basically have to buy your cannabis at your local cannabis store, because you can't get it from your buddy because then that's illicit, and most people don't want to get caught with it because then they got a whole big rigmarole, and then you got court dates. You don't want to deal with that, so they set it at 10 milligrams, and that's a group of patients or a group of people up there said, you know what, let's challenge this, and finally someone's challenging the THC
It needs
level.
to be challenged.
What's
It's
that-
only
what's that there,
10%.
Al?
It's only 10% of what other nations like the U.S. and the U.S. is not a single market, right? We're 11 adult use markets, 33 medical markets. It's all fragmented. But anyway,
Nice.
we've
Nice
in
looking
that
bud.
whole mess, we've standardized on 100 milligrams. I was blown away when Canada said 10% of that. I'm like, just 10%? That's crazy. Anyway, the hardcore patients are screaming, because they're like, now I got to buy 17 of these. It's expensive as hell. And look at the waste environmentally of the packaging.
Well, here's the part that scares me.
Candies. Who wants to eat 10 candies or 10 servings of whatever it is, to
Good
get
point,
100?
yeah.
And I totally understand that. But
don't mind
the only
candies.
concern that I have is if we make higher doses for the experienced people,
right,
and the inexperienced gets their hand on them,
true,
they may never want to do cannabis again.
Oh no, and I've been. I'll admit it. I've been there. I thought I'd be a smart little ass when I was 19 years old, just after I got hurt, just out of the hospital. Thought I'd be smart and said, "Oh yeah, I take all these heavy painkillers. I can eat an ounce of weed in chili." So me and my buddy put an ounce of really, really good weed into some chili, and we sat there and we ate the whole thing. Well, let me tell you,
holy shit, dude!
About 2 hours later, I couldn't hold my head up.
You must have been like tripping.
Been there,
balls
done that.
On
I thought
THC.
I literally thought I was dying. I was shivering and shaking, but I knew that that I wasn't going to die from cannabis. And the best way to go about it is just go sleep
or eat or have more.
Yeah,
those cops in the U.S. who ate the kids' brownies after they confiscated them, they did the exact same thing. They called 911 and they reported that they thought they were dying. So this thinking you're dying from severely overdosing on edibles seems to be a common theme.
I came home.
It can scare a lot of people.
It scared the shit out of me. Scared the
I
shit out of me.
I have the solution though.
What's that?
Make doses over 10 milligrams of THC only accessible through a pharmacy and medical.
Only through the medical system.
Perfect solution.
Yeah.
Yep,
That
perfect
way,
solution.
that way, if
as long
someone,
as the sick people can get it,
it'd be in a labeled container, safe.
I like
Now,
that
if somebody
idea.
wants to make their own at home, they can do that too.
I can
When
teach
you go to the
you.
liquor store, you can buy wine, and you can buy, you buy variations of percentage of alcohol, right?
Yep.
If somebody who's normally drinking wine coolers at 0.5% goes in and buys a bottle of Jack Daniels, and might drink too much, that to me is way worse because you can die from that.
You
At
can,
least
yeah.
in Canada, like Darcy says, I'll just get really fucked up and go to sleep.
I think the difference, though, for the most part, though, say it was a cookie, I'm just picking a cookie. A 10 milligram cookie and a 200 milligram cookie are going to taste pretty much close to the same and look the same.
Yep.
If they're made properly, Lenny, yes.
No, well, like you know what I mean, but or a capsule's you're not gonna tell. but most people can tell a glass of wine and a straight shot of 50% or 40% rum or there's a
Bacardi 151 is
is
75% alcohol. If you do a shot of that, it might as well be Everclear.
There's a time that you're responsible
Big difference
for
between
your own
4.5% beer, right?
There's a time when you're responsible for your own intake as well. I don't drink because I don't like the feeling of alcohol. If I don't like the feeling of cannabis, I'm not going to use it. But if I do, I should be able to use it like I can use alcohol in whatever variation I want to.
And it's the potency different, because usually one drink of alcohol, even if it was a stiffy, usually doesn't mess you up too bad. One cookie could find.
I've had a 600 milligram cookie, and then
But do you know? How do you know there was 600 milligrams in it?
Because it was tested. It was for a LP party at the lounge. That's how I know. But it made me feel like I was at the top of the world one minute, and then screaming for my mom the next minute. I mean, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I could hardly breathe. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, but I knew I wasn't going to die, so I just grabbed on the corners of my bed and just went to sleep.
Was it like a panic attack?
I had apparently I have hypermemesis.
Yeah, right. I don't believe you do.
No, I don't believe I do either. I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, I honestly don't think you do.
No.
Because you never stop smoking cannabis, and if you stop smoking cannabis, hyperemesis goes away completely.
Well, you know,
but it affects like 1 in 100,000 fucking people.
I've had 3 people over this journey of the last 2 weeks tell me that I'm using too much cannabis and I have hyperemesis. That's what's causing the symptoms of my abdominal issues. I'm like, no, what's happening is the same thing that's been happening since my 20s. All right, and I have been using it. I wasn't using cannabis like that back then, you know.
So your 600 milligram cookie was a gram of oil.
Yeah, and I've done the same with a gram of. We went and saw Ozzy Osbourne. My friend and I did a gram of shatter each.
Yeah, your 600 milligram cookie would be 600 medical doses.
Wow, that's a lot, and that's why there is a be careful on the box.
Yeah,
just like there is.
Cannabis is weird too, though, because I have a buddy who was just trying it for sleep. 8 milligrams fucked him up.
Somebody's cell phone's about to die.
People get a buzz.
0.8.
Yeah,
8 milligrams.
8 milligrams.
And I know it was 8 milligrams because I know who made it.
But
wow, that's amazing.
These things from left coast gummies.
I've had patients that are on 3 milligrams and feel it.
Yeah.
I gave my sister a 25 milligram Mary's brand THC gummy, okay? And she was up all night long festering and this isn't working and I don't like this feeling and blah, 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 blah. And I felt bad, but she needed to.
What's that, Darcy?
You know.
Gorilla cookies.
A what?
I had
Gorilla cookies.
Oh.
I ate a 50. It was even labeled, so it must be true. A 50 milligram gummy.
Yeah.
Never got a thing off of it. Waited like 3 hours, never got anything, and then I had to go and eat one of these nice salty chocolate balls.
Well, I got gummies in the fridge, Marcel.
And then I got high, and that's only off of 20 milligrams.
Marcel,
what?
I got some gummies in the fridge that are supposedly 100 milligrams, and the other one's 125.
Nice.
If it is,
I haven't tried them yet. So when I do,
I think you'll grab one right now.
Well, I
I
would,
just
but
ate a salty ball. I'm up all night now.
I will say nothing is better than Marcel's chocolate salty balls.
Mm-mm.
They're my favorite.
no, the blackberry ripple ice cream.
I prefer Alec Baldwin's salty balls, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
You're gonna have
The
to
skit from
explain.
Saturday Night Live.
You
but
got,
anyway.
yeah, I was gonna say you
That's
got
how it
to
all
explain
started.
that
Salty
one.
balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. you know.
It was Chef from South Park. I should know.
Salty balls. Somebody's salty balls. I don't know. Some cartoon character, perhaps a human being. We're not really
Chef
sure.
literally
but
has a
anyway.
song called Chocolate Salty Balls.
So
They
anyway,
won me
Know
first.
that song?
They won me at first place, so I'm happy with them.
So Mr. Marcel, so back to your salty balls. So this thing you said is 20 milligrams that you just ate,
Yeah, I think between 20 and 25.
and that's like a comfortable spot for you. That's something you enjoy doing.
Oh, that's my capsules are 25 milligrams, and that's how I start my morning is taking those capsules.
Okay.
But eat one of his capsules and eat an edible, and I find I get a totally different buzz off eating your capsule than I do eating one of them chocolate salty balls.
Yeah, because the capsule's enhanced. That's the patent thing.
Yeah, it is enhanced.
I eat a salty ball. I'm asleep in about 90 minutes.
I smoke a strand that we just grew, Lenny, and I'm out in fucking 35, 40 minutes.
Is that the tug?
That's the true. Yep. I call it the truth.
I call it the tog.
I call it the truth because if you want to know something about somebody, let them smoke that, and I'm sure they'll tell you.
Don't let the U.S. government get their hands on it. They've been looking for a truth serum forever.
Yeah, they thought they had it with them gay ultra and G13.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I fucking laughed at Seinfeld for 45 minutes. Fucking night, pretty good.
I laughed at Seinfeld for 45 minutes. Nice.
So, Kurt,
I
could give you a 25 milligram chocolate truffle, salty ball.
Cool.
Or I could give you a 25 milligram capsule.
But you got to come to
25
Canada
milligram
for
capsule will actually knock you on your ass way more than the salty ball would.
Wow.
You're fucking right, it will.
What was that, Darcy?
I said, you're fucking right, it will.
Are you going to explain why?
Right, because the carrier oil is omega-3s, not omega-6.
So you're getting high tech. You're getting into like PhD in biochemistry, organic stuff.
Well, we patented it.
Oh, nice,
So
nice. Congrats.
So we have that, right? But
so there's like real science behind this product, which is often grossly lacking, especially here in the States.
well, that's how I got better. I used to be like Darcy in a wheelchair. I was supposed to be dead in 2008, then again in 2009, then again in 2010. But what I did is I researched cannabis to figure out how to make it work for my form of MS that I had.
Sorry to interrupt, but you were the proverbial case where the medical establishment had, quote unquote, given up, had said, we've run out of options. Sorry, we got no more for you.
The only real question they had when my official diagnosis came in, which was 16 or 17 months, they're big. Fuck that. Banana Mac's good. The only question they had was that how was I still alive? And I said, it's got to be the cannabis because I'd already been using it.
Interesting.
At that point. But then I figured out, after doing countless hours of research, because I was stuck in a wheelchair, I figured out how to make it work better. And I make it work better by mixing it with pure omega-3s. So
the endocannabinoid system and the omega-3 pathway share the same enzymes, and there is omega-3 versions of endocannabinoids that may be the reason why it may not they are linked, and that's where a lot of research is going. But there's no question, like through Marcel's experience and research, that the omega-3 does make THC a little bit more potent, or CBD.
But
you also don't know if it's that
But what the research showed was omega-6, which is basically all your fats, your coconut oils, all of that's omega-6. That omega-6 only really opens the CB1 receptors. And those are the ones that you get more high from. Omega-3 lipids go in and they open up both the CB1 and the CB2 receptors. So you're getting more physical relief as well as you're still getting that intensified head high because now you've got omega-3s rushing it to your brain. So it allows you to make your cannabis go a lot longer, which actually ends up cutting your price. So we did trials, and one of the trials that we did, we actually we monitored how much they consume during the week by smoking or vaping or whatever. And after 2 weeks, there was over a 40% reduction in the amount they smoked. So we saved them 40%.
It's a big deal.
Right off the top. And the reason
Especially
they
for
weren't
daily consumers.
Right. And the reason they weren't, these were all MS patients and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's almost like a patient study, like it was like, a clinical trial almost.
We did
gathering data.
Small.
We did very small clinical trials. The first one we did was a double-blind placebo. I did that one. The doctor doing the data knew within 3 days which one's got the placebo and which one's got the actual cannabis.
I still don't know if I had the good
and
stuff.
That was only on 3 milligrams of THC per capsule.
Yeah, very low dose, for sure.
Yeah. But that's what I figured out, was this microdosing is actually more therapeutic for relief. If you want to get high, go smoke a joint, right? Because once you start on that dose and you take the same dose every day at the same time, you no longer feel it. You're just feeling normal. So you've got physical relief. You might have mental relief. But if you want to get high, you go smoke a joint. And then you get high.
And
then Marcel sold out to the LP.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking sell out, Marcel.
You're a sellout. Sellout, Marcel. Get out.
Yeah,
Get out.
I like you.
But I also don't get high unless I turn around and I smoke that banana mac or eat one of those salty balls. I'll have a nice buzz on for a while.
Or wait
I literally smoke joints from the time I get up till the time I go to bed.
Or
and
wait till
probably on my fourth joint so far during the show.
Wow.
I've had.
Or you'll wait till the fall, Marcel.
2. But I had a lot earlier. So, guys, I found a song for us to listen to. I hope you'll like it. And when we come back, I'm sure there'll be even more comments. And I have to do this with one hand. Let's see if I can do this. This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live here at 420radio.ca. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Cheech.
This is Chong.
And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
What is it?
Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time.
420 Radio?
Ooh.
Hang up and try again.
Just sit right back and you hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing lad, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. makes me wonder. The ship set ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Isle. Was tossed, if not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow will be lost. The minnow will be and they're here on Gilligan's Island.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
What'd you think of that?
I like that.
That was cool.
Too. Yeah, that was.
I want you to send me the link to that.
I will. It's on just it's called Stairway to Gilligan's Island, and it's on. I just found it on YouTube this afternoon, and I was like, yeah, Lenny's gonna like that. I was thinking about you, Lenny. And you
I missed the first fucking 60 seconds of it because Darcy was trying to make me look at a piece of bud that I couldn't see the color.
I will post a link on my Facebook before the evening is out. So we are back. Drew just sent me a song. Pub Songs of Ireland. The fresh. Gotta play that. What was that, Mary Jane?
You never got my song, did you?
No.
It was called Chocolate Salty Balls.
Oh. Here, let's see what this sounds like.
She's got the link for it.
I don't know if this will play through or not.
Your next break.
Did we lose Darcy?
Oh, he's there.
You know what it is, don't you, Al? You look puzzled.
Chill it out, maxing, relaxing and cooling, and shooting some basketball outside the school. Which I tell them, which I tell them, which I tell them,
Cool.
Then a couple.
Yeah, so that's the Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
I was going to say, it sounds like every fucking bar in Halifax until I heard the lyrics.
So, Oh, let me mute this here. There we go. Be gone. So, hi, how are you? Or how high are what's everybody smoking? I'm having some Animal Face right now.
Animal Face?
Animal Face.
Is that really the name of the cultivar? Animal Face?
Yeah, it's you know, a lot of what happens up here with the legacy growers is they'll take one strain and they'll take another strain and they'll put it together and they'll call it two strains.
Well, it sounds better than a lot of strain names like cat piss and
that's a good strain.
Crack. I don't think these are good strain names, quite
Green,
honestly.
green crack you can't use in Canada. You're not supposed to.
Good. That's one. I'm finally agreeing with Canadian regulations. I never thought it would happen, but
this is what I find happens with cannabis dealers. They can't remember which bag is which, and they don't label anything, and they can't remember what it was called, and they're like, "What's it smell like?" That's why you end up with a bag of cat piss.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Right.
But there is a strain called cat piss.
Yeah,
I've had it.
But that's how it got its name.
Yes.
Yeah, because it smells like cat piss.
Do you know when we were started going through all this growing stuff and with the MMAR and the ACMPR and the MMPR, Kurt, they basically told everybody, if you have to move, your grow is no longer valid, so you have to destroy it. And you remember how they said to do it, guys? Yeah. Kitty litter and water.
The kitty litter mixture. I know there's a sawdust recipe that a lot of the states here in the U.S.
Is that what that's where I was going? I was going to ask you, what did they tell you guys to do?
Okay, so in Canada, just before we go there, in Canada, that's what we have to do as a licensed producer.
There's options. You can incinerate it at a proper environmental incinerator.
I can incinerate it for you in a series of small fires.
Yeah, there's a good business choice. Hey, Mom, I'm going to go and invest in an incinerator company, and I'm going to go burn all the legal weed that can't be sold. Yeah, there's a good business choice.
Imagine it'd be like a giant vaporizer inside the whole building.
No, but see what it is, it's the fan leaves, the stalks. Well, stalks don't matter. Stalks aren't illegal. But all the fan leaves, any of the crap, waste, garbage, all has to be destroyed.
Okay,
either by incineration or mixing it with cat litter.
On that topic, is there any, okay, let me take this back a few years. When hemp was first really big in Canada, we had a few hemp farms that opened up, but they were only allowed to use the stalk. All the other byproduct was just thrown out or used for feed. Now they're finding use for it. They're making hemp oil and stuff like that. Is hemp coming around down there now, Kurt, or is it still hidden like it used to be? Because it's very visible here in Canada.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it visible as in like you're driving down the freeway and you see a big crop of hemp. It's as a percentage of overall agriculture, from the little I know about it, because I haven't done a deep dive on it, we're doing tens of thousands of acres, and there's certain states like Colorado and Kentucky that are going, they're really behind it. It's sad when a lot of those same states are not very pro cannabis, so they're kind of embracing one side of the plant and yet kind of shunning the other side and some of its cultural heritage. But it is what it is. I think we've made really great progress here in the States ever since our December 2018 Farm Bill, when we really basically reversed the prohibition of the past 1937, August 1937 here in the States. You guys in Canada did it several years earlier, actually. You beat us to the punch on that one. But hemp, yeah, it's doing some stuff. I've got a client in Indiana who's all about hemp because he wants to be able to sell into all 50 states, so he doesn't, want to get into THC. And there's some real innovative companies. There's some real companies too, to be quite honest.
Yes.
But that's how it normally is, right? 10 to 20% of your companies survive and create credible brands and solid brand identities and futures for themselves.
Let's tell some people.
Go belly up.
Let's tell some people about the history of hemp, because it's actually quite interesting. Way back when, during the war, farmers had to dedicate a portion of their farms, both in Canada and the U.S., I believe. They had to dedicate a portion of their hemp of their farming land to hemp, so that they could grow hemp to make the clothing and things that they had to do during the war. Right? That's part of history. Okay.
Sails and ropes.
Sails. The Washington family used to have the largest hemp plantation in North America, where and stop me if I'm wrong, Kurt, because you'd know the history. Where the Pentagon sit used to be a hemp plantation, and yet it fed the world. It helped produce products. It's the most diverse plant on the planet. You can eat it, you can smoke it, you can wear it, you can build from it, you can fix people. But yet all this stigma is surrounding it, and here in 2020 they're actually saying publicly that cannabis can help this, cannabis can help that, cannabis may be able to help COVID, cannabis may be, very, very public. It's really, really cool to see how public. But the mainstream media is controlling that public. Right?
Oh, because don't forget, they still want it villainized.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're only going to try and do what they can for ratings to make it look as bad as they can whenever they can.
Hippie baby Jesus smokes weed, but everybody else's baby Jesus doesn't smoke weed, and so that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
I actually don't find the media really gives a fuck about cannabis anymore, to be honest.
You know what they're doing, Len, is what I've noticed is they're allowing their on-air personalities to talk openly about their cannabis use, and it's becoming quite open conversations on the drive time shows in the morning and stuff like that. No, I think that's great.
No, me too.
But they're
quite
not.
Frankly, I'm
not
a pharmacist. I don't know how many fucking pharmacists promote they fucking smoke weed.
No, of course. My point is even though you've got Buddy DJ on big radio station in Toronto talking about cannabis like they know what they're talking about, people are listening to them. And if they're not right on the facts, which most of them aren't, because most of them are rec users, they're like, hey, I smoked a joint, it was fucking great, I got so fucking wasted, man. Here's a song. Right? My point is the truth, unfortunately, the untruth is outweighing the truth, unfortunately.
Yeah, but don't forget they've been doing it for 90 years.
I know that. Right? But it's nice to see it's changing. I wish it was faster. That's all.
But I mean, we've come a long way. If you think about it, from the 70s when most of us started using it to now, we've come a long way.
Oh, sure we have.
Right? Sure Actually, we've come probably the fastest speed has started in 2000. Because once the medical program was forced onto the government by patients by taking them to court, we got the MMAR. Every government that's been in power has tried to abolish that thing.
Yes. Because
none of them wanted it.
And they're still trying.
Oh, yeah. And they're still trying.
My fear is that they've actually done that by lumping it in with C45, that it's legal and medical altogether. So that way, if somebody did want to just kill the legal market, that it would wash out the medical market with it.
Right,
Is that
but
correct?
it's
Is that an unrealistic fear?
But that's still going to have to hold up in court, right? Because you got to remember, a lot of the stuff in C45 hasn't been challenged in court yet.
But
Right.
that costs
Fewer
money.
yet.
Who's going to do that? You know what I mean? Like, there's a
That's
lot
the
of things wrong with the medical system that, like storefronts, pharmacies.
So,
why
how were we able to get?
Why can we not have that? But yet,
But as patients, how are we able to get everything that we got? Yes, it cost money, blood, sweat, and tears, and it took us
Yeah.
years to get it.
yeah.
Right? 11 different court cases that patients had to fight for their rights against the government.
But
And
do
we-
you really
and we
think
won
that there's
every
still
time,
that
though.
fight? Marcel,
There's
do
always-
you think that
I
people
think
will
that-
still fight?
Until they recognize it as being a medicine, or even as a naturopathic medicine, we're always going to have that fight because patients are still going to be screwed. So if the patients wanted to get together and form a coalition and take the government to task, then yeah, but it's probably going to cost $1 million because that's what Allard was to get rid of the MMPR, which got us the ACMPR.
Which also got us to continue to grow our indoors under our old license as long as you don't move.
Exactly.
Once
So if
you move, that license is not null and void.
Right. If you're kind of grandfathered in right now until the injunction is lifted, and they didn't meet everything that the judge specified, so they're not going to go and ask for the injunction to be lifted. The patients aren't going to ask for the injunction to be lifted. So it's going to be an injunction that those patients that have not moved still have valid licenses.
And that word that Marcel said, moved. Once you moved, you voided that license.
Which is still unfortunate because, I mean, realistically, how many years ago was this? People move in their lifetime. Like, it's unfortunate.
It is
Yeah, but I got a funny feeling I might move, but I'm still going to own this property,
Yeah.
right? And then that license is valid forever. That would be the smarter thing.
If I had
way
that
to do it.
license, I would have already lost it by now because I've moved so many times.
Right.
And
Not everybody's in the same position.
System, no, and it's completely unfortunate because, I mean, you have to reapply every year. I mean, a lot of people are sick and are chronically ill. They're not going to get any better. Some people are disabled in wheelchairs and they'll never walk again, but yet they have to continually go through this rigmarole every year. Find a doctor, pay for the doctor,
Yeah.
It's just, it's frustrating. And then you got to wait for Health Canada to actually approve it, process it, send it back. And if by some chance your license expires before that, you can't legally grow. Like Al's saying, you're supposed to take it and, destroy your entire crop, put it in kitty litter. It doesn't matter how many plants you've got in your house, at what stage of life, just done.
Yeah.
You can still grow, MJ, under the Cannabis Act. It's just you can only grow 4 plants.
That's correct.
But
most patients don't grow.
No, and which for somebody in your situation or in my situation, 4 plants, that's only going to do us a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, Marcel, everyone's, and I'm going to rephrase this, everyone's can't grow the same way we do. So them 4 plants, they're lucky. Most everyday Joe indoors, they crop out 2 or 3 ounces on a plant. They're ecstatic, right? So,
Right, but
anything over an ounce.
Yeah, not like us, Marcel, where we grow trees where we get, if we don't get a pound on it, we're disappointed, right?
Right.
Damn.
But
See, I've never weighed mine out. I'm too afraid. I just know by how many mason jars. I get 2 mason jars per plant.
But for the amount of cannabis I have to use to keep doing what I do, those 4 plants would last me. Well, if they're 1 ounce plants, then 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But they're not going to last me very long. Even on a good grower, on 4 plants wouldn't be enough for what I need and what I consume. Because here, I'm lighting another joint.
You light that joint, and I got a song loaded up, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk gross stuff with Mr. Darcy Pittman.
Before we go to that, I just wanted to just rephrase back to Lenny's question that he asked Kurt was about the state in hemp. I see.
It was Al, not me.
Oh, Al. I see 4 states down there now are passing non-smokable hemp bills, so you can't smoke your hemp now.
What?
Because, yep.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I never would have imagined.
Because they don't want you to. What I got out of the articles was they don't want you to. They don't want to confuse it with cannabis. And if you have cannabis in a bag and hemp in a bag and you carry it in your pocket, you can't tell the difference.
That's part of the problem for sure.
So is that smokable hemp you have in your pocket, or is that cannabis?
Exactly. And there have been like truckloads of this stuff doing interstate commerce here in the States.
Yep.
They, busted taillights, speeding, whatever the cause. Anyway, state trooper pulls them over, says, "Jesus Christ, you got a truckload of marijuana." He says, "No, sir, that's officer, with all respect, that's hemp. We're totally legal." Shows them paperwork. They're like, "Nah, you're not walking away from this one." And they spend the weekend in jail. Attorneys get involved. It's some crazy stuff. We haven't figured out how to deal with it, quite honestly.
A whole bunch of money spent. They do a testing, and then it comes back, "Oh, well, you had hemp. Sorry about that, sir."
Yeah, and then do they get their $200,000 worth of hemp back? I don't know, but it sounds pretty, as the kids would say, sus. It's pretty sus.
Sus? Yep. Is that a new word? Sus?
Yeah, suspect, apparently.
I've never heard that one.
You need to hang out with college kids more often.
Kurt's got his finger on the pulse.
Got a few years.
Kurt, I do. Are you in Vegas or LA?
I'm in Vegas.
That's why. Yeah, he's in the cool spot of the country.
No, it's because I have college kids. My kids are in college.
Yeah, geez, Sonny,
I do have my finger on the pulse. It's called tuition, and it's like so yeah. In exchange for thousands and thousands of dollars, they teach me words like sus. It's pretty cool.
Right on.
Wow.
There, now you can play your song, Al. Sorry about
Play your song because I got my glass of scotch. So
all right. So
make sure you
got
a warrant. Last time you didn't, and they couldn't hear the music.
Who couldn't?
Well,
whoever was listening.
I can only do so much with one arm. We'll be right
and we
back.
love you for it.
Famous line by Charlton Heston.
Is it?
Planet of the Apes, perhaps. Not sure.
I remember
that quote's
late at night watching those.
That's how you use it.
You're listening to the randomness that is 420radio.ca. Sorry, that's 420radio.ca. Powered by ADHD and fueled by cannabis.
Through the streets of Soho in the rain, he was looking for the place called Lee Ho Fooks. Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein. Where was London? Where kitchen door. You better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night. Werewolves of London again. Ahoo, werewolves of London. Ahoo, ahoo, werewolves of London. Ahoo. Hairy-handed gent who ran amok in Kent. Lately he's been overheard in Mayfair. You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I'd like to meet his tailor. Ahoo, werewolves of London. I saw Lon Chaney walking with the Queen, doing the werewolves of London. I saw Lon Chaney Jr. walking with the Queen, doing the werewolves of London. I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's. And his hair was perfect.
Kurt, do you remember the first time you heard that song?
Yeah, I'm sure it was like I was probably like 14 years old or something,
Yeah.
like maybe a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Actually, with no prior planning, I was a complete doofus in the situation. Was introduced to Warren Zevon in Columbus, Ohio, and talked for like 3 minutes, and then went our separate ways. It was really. He's a super humble, super cool guy. He was really nice.
Yeah. You know, I've met a few. Musicians in my lifetime, and back when the Headstones were getting very popular here in Canada and in the States, I'm sure.
Love the Headstones.
Yeah. My friend who worked for MCA Universal at the time said, I asked, what's a good concert to take a date to? And I knew this girl that I was interested in liked the Headstones. So she set it up. I took this chick on our first date to a Headstones concert at the Horseshoe in Toronto. And we went downstairs, and Hugh Dillon's just standing there. So now Hugh Dillon is, when you're standing in front of him, he's a really nice guy, but he's larger than life. He's very tall. He's an actor. He's on Flashpoint. And he's
Joe Dick.
Yeah, and he's been the lead singer of the Headstones as long as I can remember. They're out of where? Kitchener, right? Or no, Kingston, right?
He's really dreamy.
Who, Hugh? Well, yeah, you met him. We went to Tanganyika. They had a Headstones. They featured at Tanganyika at Tim Barnhart's had a little thing going there a couple of years ago, and we were with them, and they were like right in front of us, and they just put on such a good fucking show. They're just so
I got
good.
to sing with the band. It was so cool.
Well, that's my
dreamy.
point. I've been a fan since the 90s, since they first put out their first album, and it's just like, it's nice to see the Headstones, the Tragically Hip, those bands that we grew up with in Canada. That are.
I seen the Headstones in Glasgow, 1993. I think there's 8 people in the bar.
Really?
Wow.
And Hugh and the band just killed it. They didn't give a fuck.
Yep, they don't care. They just play. Yeah.
No. Then I saw them, I think, a year later at Dow Tallahassee, where I went to school, and they rocked the bar there. It was awesome.
Well, that's like the Black Crows. They were very popular here in Toronto back in the day because they liked to play here, and they became close with the guys at Q107. So they did a big concert up at, I think it was Earl Bales Park, and they packed the place. Like, I mean, there were 3 park systems that there were people at, but yet they couldn't fill up a stadium back then. You know, it was the culture. The Black Crows, like the Headstones, the Gandharvas. I
saw the Gandharvas in Glasgow as well.
I miss the Toronto music scene so much. Back when I was doing What's Up Toronto magazine, my sister and I were out at listening to music every night. You can't do that anymore because of COVID. Never mind just because all the bars.
What do you think is going to happen? How long do you think it's going to take before we get back to being able to perform? Because, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been missing for the last year. Al knows because I've been tour managing for a comedian who's performing, and unfortunately, if you can't get together, do you know what I mean? Like, does anybody? Do you guys want to play bets?
They're starting to ease things out.
2022.
Yeah, they're starting to ease things up in Toronto, but in Ontario,
but it's reduced crowds. It's like
the bars and establishment and event centers are not happy at all. It's almost down to a quarter of max kind of thing.
But look at the bright side of all of these precautions and things that they're coming out with. We're going to have next to nothing for seasonal flu this year. And when people take off their fucking masks, that's when they're going to get sick.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go so long with a mask on that they're not going to build up any antibodies to combat everything else.
My sister,
Speaking of those coronial babies, same thing. I bet you they're going to be born with really weak immune systems because their mothers have been constantly hand sanitizing and everything their entire pregnancy.
Yeah, that makes sense. My sister has just started having to wear masks at work all day. So, yeah.
Wow. All day is different than 10 minutes at the grocery.
I spent 7 hours.
Do you
in
really
emergency
think those masks
horrible.
coming from China are made with nice, clean material? Do you really think they're tested? You know it's going to be asbestos fucking lungs. I'm calling it right now.
Class action lawsuits.
I'm not even a religious person, but God gave you fucking nose hairs and all that shit and mucus to filter out stuff. We don't need this. Build your immune system. Take your vitamin D. Exercise. Eat well. Who wants to live in a fucking world where there's no art or music or entertainment?
And blow your smoke out your nose.
But just
hashtag omega-3.
Not out your ass.
So on the 8th, August 8th, because of my predicament and going, so let me explain to everybody what's going on. I've broken the top half of my shoulder socket, and they're going to put pins and plates, and I've also got some fractures going into my neck and clavicle. And I'm saying clavicle because I like to say the word clavicle.
Clavicle.
You don't want to say collarbone?
On August 8th, no, it's too long. On August 8th, I have to go to Sunnybrook and have a straw stuck up my nose and get the COVID test. And then I have to self-isolate for 3 days before I go in for surgery. And then they're suggesting I self-isolate for 14 days after as well for infection.
Self-isolate? Sounds perverse.
Well, you know, it's a good thing Pornhub is around because I'd be real lonely.
I did it for years.
Well, I was antisocial, but apparently I was just self-isolating.
Yeah,
that's all that introverted today, and it's defended quite
And
heartily.
now it's good. It's a good thing. I didn't see anybody today. Good for you. I hope you had a good day. I didn't touch anyone yesterday. Yay!
I am an introvert, but every once in a while you do have to get out and socialize.
So says the guy who's sitting where the bat signal above his head.
Batman's an introvert?
I guess he is.
Fucking right he is.
And today on the 420 radio show, we're going to discuss introversy and Batman.
He only comes out when he needs. He only comes out when he's needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same as I do.
So
Yeah,
what happens when there's no crime? Does he get depressed? You don't need me anymore. I'm Batman.
Oh, Batman is depressed. His dad got shot in front of him.
He's an angry son of a bitch, quite honestly.
He's fucking
I
awesome.
love Batman. Batman is the best. He's the only superhero that's actually human and just runs around like vigilante style, and everybody loves him.
But there's
Nobody
an
knows
easy
he
way
might even be a little twisted.
He has cool toys too.
There's an easy way to solve this for Al's question, though. Is Batman's both?
Is Batman what?
He's both.
What?
Yeah, he's dark
He's an introvert.
Yeah. He's bipolar.
And Bruce Wayne is an extrovert.
Fair enough. He's
Oh,
bipolar.
jeez, I thought you meant he was bisexual. You scared me.
Batman is bipolar.
Oh, he might be that too. I don't know.
He said he was both. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we weren't talking. What do you got in your mind? You been watching porn too?
50 Shades
Thankfully, no.
50 Shades of Batman.
Hey, Darcy.
Marcel.
What's the gross stuff you're going to talk about?
Yeah.
What gross stuff?
Your gross segment.
How to grow killer weed.
Well, we talked about security
actually,
last time.
I'm gonna do a little blurb on this new company, this new nutrients company that I've been trying out this year, and it's actually.
Well, before you start, can I give a tip for somebody?
Go ahead.
And a few people. If you're growing outdoors, especially in this province in the last couple of weeks with the amount of heat we've had, and you're using a garden hose, do not turn your garden hose onto your plants. All right? Run the garden hose water until it's cold. Never spray hot water on your plants.
You'll scorch them.
I can't stress that any more than that. Never spray hot water on your plants, because chances are they're not going to make it.
Says the talking cannabis plant.
Yes. So there's your outdoor grow tip for the day. Go for it, Darcy. What kind of nutrients?
It's the company's called Big Blue. They sell a whole bunch of different organic-based nutrients. The ones that I got to try this year were their cold-pressed fish, and which I'll get into the difference between cold-pressed fish fertilizer and pasteurized fish fertilizer, but I'll get into that here in a second. And then the one that I really like is their algae. I have a hard time saying it. Their algae seaweed.
Algae or algae?
Algae.
No, ALGUES.
Yeah, one of the letters is silent there, buddy. It's algae.
Yeah. It's a cold pressed seaweed extract that's harvested from the East Coast here in Canada, and it works very well. What it's designed for is seaweed grows in extreme conditions year round. So the winter they grow in icy cold water, and in the summertime they grow in warmer water. So it has a big temperature swing for different growth cycles.
Cool.
So when using this product, it helps your plants with drought and stress, helps them hydrate themselves properly. So if you're one of these people that don't really like to water your plants a whole bunch and you use this stuff, this will help you for when your soil is super, super dry and your plants are wilting like crazy. This stuff really helps. I've let a couple of my plants dry completely right out outside to see if it makes a difference. And from what I see so far, it's making a huge difference. And it's also good because it helps generate new root growth. So I'm trying it right now with my clones. It goes a 1 liter bottle does go a long way because you only use 15 mils to a liter. So it does go a long way. So that's 60 mils to a gallon. So you can get 10 gallons, a little over 10 gallons, 12 gallons out of a 1 liter bottle. And it's not really overly expensive. It's feasible. I didn't pay for what I got. I was given it to me to try to see if I like it. So as far as the actual price goes, it's under $20 for a liter, which I think is affordable for people. And if you're a person that's just growing your 4 plants, I think 1 bottle would do you grow. Your numbers on it are 0.105. So it's seaweed's more potassium than anything. There's very little nitrogen and no phosphorus in it. So it works for, like I said, for generating root growth. It works really well for that and helping your plants during stressful times in their lifetime. So, and from what I said, from what I see so far with it, it's working well. And now the cold pressed fish, that's a different story, because when you're on a market, when you're out there on the market looking for a fish fertilizer product, be very careful on what you're buying, especially if you're outdoor guerrilla growers that don't like to put your stuff around your house and you're out in the middle of the woods. This product, the fish product, may not be for you.
Are you implying that animals might actually want or like the smell of fish?
I had a friend that lost an entire crop from skunks.
Wow.
Because they use first fertilizer.
Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah, but see, now cold pressed fish has a smell to it. Pasteurized fish products do not. But pasteurized fish products don't do the same job that the cold pressed does. Cold pressed is your best with anything. Cold pressed seed oils, all your seed oils, if you can get them cold pressed, it's the best, because they're not chemically changing the molecules of the product. Where when you heat stuff up, it changes stuff, right? So I recommend always buying cold pressed fish products if you do grow with fish products. But if you are in the woods, I suggest don't even waste your money on the pasteurized stuff. Just find another fertilizer or another nutrient that's just as good, if not better, that don't stink. And so you'll have 8 million fucking bears in your neighborhood, and every time you walk through the woods, you're scared shitless because you don't know if a black bear's going to come through the woods after you. So,
now, Darcy, I heard wolf urine actually is a great deterrent. Is that true?
There's lots of different stuff out there. There used to be a product on the market. I forget the name of the company, so I'm not even going to try to even say anything about that. But what they do is they make a cougar piss. So they go around to different places.
Now, there's a strain named Darcy, cougar piss.
Oh, there you go, MJ.
That sounds like a fantasy, young man's fantasy.
Yeah, cougar piss. Awesome. I like that one, buddy. But they use it too to deter rabbits, skunks, all the wildlife that's gonna get in and cause you trouble. The only one thing they don't make a product for, or that company did, was for snails or slugs. But I find the best thing there to do is go buy yourself a couple bags of baker's yeast, shake it up in some water, put it in some little pop bottles, cut a little slit in it, lay it on its side, and fill it up about quarter to half. Quarter to a little more than quarter, and bury it in the ground. And if you're a person that checks your plants on a regular basis, usually every rainy night, that bottle will be full of slugs, because they're going to go for that baker's yeast way faster than they are your plant.
Huh. That's a great tip.
That's why they go.
Diatomaceous earth also helps.
Yes, it does. That's a wonderful thing too. And the good thing about diatomaceous earth is you're also giving your plants a source of silica. what diatomaceous earth. And what most people don't know is out there that grow, is silica is very important. Is a very important element to your plants, but 95% of the products on the market today, your plant only uptakes maybe 5% of that silica. So the other 95% of that silica is being wasted. So it's being wasted nutrients. So basically, you're just throwing your money away. So it's always do your research when it comes to that. There's one type of silica that is only available to your plants, and I'm not telling people that because it's my little trade secret that was told to me by another grower. So so do your research because I know I had to. So diatomaceous earth really works well too, and that's why MJ they tell you to use beer because of the yeast in it.
Okay.
Because the yeast in the beer attracts the slugs. So if you ever see a beer can
too,
outside in the grass, you pick it up, you dump it out, lots of beer out. Ooh, you see a slug or two. That's why, is because he's going after that beer. It's the yeast in it. So
I just like how diatomaceous works.
Oh, it works awesome.
It literally slits the bellies open.
And they can't stop mucusing.
Because it's a desiccant, it dries them out.
Isn't diatomaceous earth something that can be used in our diet as well, though? Like there is.
Yes, but not in this
for us.
Not
that. Obviously, there's like food grade, and then
that's it, MJ. There's food grade stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But your food grade will work still to get rid of slugs.
Yeah, but just don't use the other stuff as food.
No, don't try to use it.
No.
That's dangerous.
It'd be like Coke before you cut it up.
Oh no, it's like using vinegar to clean your windows. That's okay, but don't use Windex as vinegar.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Gaia Green, Marcel really likes this company. Gaia Green, they have the silica out there, or a diatomaceous earth on the market, and theirs is food grade. Mm-hmm. So you can use it as a pesticide, or you can use it as a food supplement.
Food grade earth?
Smoothies.
Is that what you just said? Food grade earth.
Food grade earth, yes.
Diatomaceous earth. Isn't it like some sort of plant life that's like all ground up?
Coral.
Yeah.
Coral, yeah.
It's supposed to
comes
be,
from coral.
There's health benefits in it.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Should be shit.
The stuff you learn every day.
I'm going to Google this right now.
Yeah. Yep. So, what were we going to say? So I heard somebody go,
I was going to finish my little blurb there, Al, but
go ahead.
Right ahead.
Yeah.
No,
go ahead,
please.
So as far as this company goes, and
what's the name of the company?
They're called Big Blue. Their website is earthalivect.com. They're made in Laval, Quebec, so it is a Canadian company.
Can we share that on the page?
Yes, I can, yes.
Okay,
would they be considered organic or somewhat organic?
Yes, they are. Approved for organic agriculture.
Approved by who?
I thought Marcel was going to. Would they be considered Canadian?
It's approved by the Canadian Organic Standards Council.
I never heard of them.
Yeah, and it's got numbers here, so it's got their.
Ooh, if it's got numbers, you're in big trouble.
Well, it's got like patent numbers on it, so I'm assuming that those are the patent numbers from the Organic Council.
The patent police will come along and slap your pee-pee if you do something wrong.
Well, I'm sure it's just to protect. I'm sure it's just to protect their product, so that no one else can try to mimic or make their product.
They're kind of like the subway police that way.
Yeah. But but the other thing that I wanted to finish on last week on my security little blurb was there's many different companies out there for people to try to set up security. Do your research on it because I've been checking the last week or so on different companies, and you got to be careful because as they say, oh, it's only $39.99 a month and you can get set up. Yeah, read the fine print. Because
Yeah,
in the fine print, it'll tell you have to buy the equipment first. Then they're going to charge you a $39 fee a month.
I set up with a security company for my home many years ago with the big one there. I won't say the name. And they came in, and brought all the equipment, put all the things on the windows, all the things on the doors, made my house go ah! when somebody didn't punch in the right number. And then the minute I had some hardship and I couldn't afford to continue it, okay, my phone got disconnected. They started sending me threatening letters and still charging me because their service is still being used even though my phone service is not. And it becomes, but they don't tell you all this stuff.
No, they don't. That's what they read the fine print.
That's right. And then when you default on your account, then they come into your house and take all that equipment, and they don't have to fix everything.
Nope. And you basically paid for that equipment. It's paid for, especially if you had it for 2 years. It's paid for.
Yeah.
And they're just coming back and taking it, and now they're going to go sell it to somebody else for the same price they just sold you for.
And leave the holes and the mess and the destruction. Yeah.
So like I say, do your research on your company. I have a good one that I'm going to use, and the only reason I'm going to use them is because I know they're good because they're being used somewhere else. So yeah, and they're treating me very well too. So
well, that's good.
Which is another bonus because a lot of them they just kind of want your money and here you go kind of deal. These guys are being nice and they're explaining things, and so yeah. So just do your research when it comes to that stuff and read your fine print.
I have just started my own home security stuff, and I went out and bought an Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
So Alexa, would you like to say hello?
I don't have an opinion.
Oh, Alexa. Have you been listening to us?
Ask her if she knows. Ask her if she listens to the 420 radio show, Al.
No, she doesn't. But, you know, if you would like to play... Alexa, let's play Jeopardy!
Welcome back to Jeopardy! You've already played all the available clues. Would you like to replay today's Jeopardy clues?
Sure! Yes.
Welcome back to Jeopardy! You've already played all the available clues. Do you want to play today's clues again?
Yes.
Here are the clues for today.
Our first category is life with the Hood. Robin Hood is often depicted as loyal to this lion-hearted King of England.
John.
Please give your response, or I can skip this clue.
King John.
Which would you like?
No, it's not John. I know it. Oh, fuck.
I thought it was John.
Skip. It's not telling us. It's not finishing.
Yeah.
Okay, Siri. Or, sorry, not Siri. Alexa.
Gonna cause a complex.
Yeah, she's gonna get mad.
Alexa, next question.
The correct response was, who is Richard? Our second Jeopardy category is celebrity moms. Beyonce is mom to twins, Sir, and Rumi, and to this colorfully named big sister.
Blue Ivy.
Please respond in the form of a question, starting with phrases like, who is,
Okay,
or
thank
what
you,
is.
Alex. Who is Blue Ivy?
You're right. Your next Jeopardy category is hotels. For nearly 2 decades, the Beverly Hilton was owned by this talk show host turned real estate investor.
This is an interesting one. Kurt, do you know this one?
No, I'm sorry.
Merv
The correct
Griffin.
response was, who is Merv Griffin? The next
Oh.
Jeopardy category is the biblical sense. In the
Used to
book of
watch him
Exodus,
at my
the
grandmother's
Lord
house
tells
as a
Aaron
child.
and this Hebrew prophet to take ashes of the furnace to sprinkle in the sight of Pharaoh.
I missed half the question.
Please give your response, or I can skip this clue. Which would you like?
Repeat.
Skip.
Again, the category is the biblical sense. In the book of Exodus, the Lord tells Aaron and this Hebrew prophet to take ashes of the furnace to sprinkle in the sight of Pharaoh.
Anyone? Anyone?
Nope. I'm out of my business.
Please respond in the form of a question, starting with phrases like,
Moses?
who is or what is?
Who is Moses?
Yes, that's it. Today's fifth category is
There you
brands
go,
that
Marcel.
sound like verbs. This Minneapolis-based retailer sounds like it has you in the crosshairs and selected for attack.
Target.
What is Target? What is Target?
What is Target?
Good job. Your last Jeopardy category is a negative attitude. This disapproving presidential action comes from the Latin for I forbid.
Skip.
The correct response was, what is a veto?
All right, let's see how you did on this set.
Earlier you scored 0 out of 6 on your first session. That's pretty good. You got 3 right today.
Yeah.
We'll see you Monday for more
Voted
clues.
by fucking Alexa.
Alexa, thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Alexa.
I'm not sure.
That's okay. Some of us helped them.
We'll try again next
no,
time.
I don't want an Alexa. My parents have a Google.
I have a Google Home.
Well,
yeah, my parents have one.
I got one because David wanted one for his room, and then I'm having a hard time as somebody who has to take pills every day. I forget, and with diabetes, that's not a good thing. So, me and my ADHD-ness have not missed my pills since I got Alexa because I've been doing reminders. And
that's cool. That's really cool.
I have it set it at 9 o'clock.
I will
in the
set
morning.
it for like if I'm cooking something.
Yep.
Like, hey, Google, remind me or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I have it set to remind me
Oh,
to
fuck,
take
my
my pills
Google's
in the
not.
morning and in the evening, and it works out really well.
Yeah, you got to be
Hey,
careful
Google, shut up.
pretending to talk to Google. I like to use my Google Play for bedtime. It plays, you can ask it to play rain noise, and then you can ask it to set a sleep timer, so it shuts off after however many minutes.
They're pretty good. The Google one's a pretty good speaker, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would you?
I just say like play a genre of music and just starts going off.
Which would
Okay,
you
so
suggest?
have you tried the test yet with them? Either of yous?
No.
What's that?
Which one?
Tell it to stop listening.
I just shut the mic off on mine.
Can you?
I have a mic
Yeah, you
and
can
a
shut it
camera
off.
on mine. Mine
Can
has
you do that, Benny?
has the video screen.
And how do you know it's shut off?
It'll tell you.
You know they're
It tells
fucking
you.
Try
listening
talk to
to fucking
it.
data.
I don't want to shut it off.
Here's a
I
good
want
question
to
for you, Al.
Constantly listen for my commands so I can make it my bitch.
You know, if you have a cell phone, it really doesn't matter. I'll tell you, I was showing, I'm on this app called House Party, and I was chatting with my girls. I had done some tie-dye.
There
When
goes
I did the tie-dye, I was
MJ Headrum
nowhere
again.
near my phone. It was nowhere near. But I was showing my friends my tie-dye shirt. I didn't even say tie-dye. They just said, oh, that's cool. I was like, look what I did. The next day, I had an ad on my Instagram for tie-dye clothing.
Yeah,
So
my
if you
wife
have a
had
cell
something like
phone,
that
It
happen.
doesn't matter if you don't have a Google Play.
Yeah.
Like, you carry a tracking device with you in your hand most of the time.
Yeah.
I have one on my wrist. Measures my heart rate and everything. You know, we're tracked.
You know what? If you like the gadgets, buy the gadgets. If you don't like the gadgets, don't buy the gadgets. But stop fucking complaining about it.
Uh-oh, they found me at the pub again.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There you go.
Oh, well.
You know what? I will say
for
there was
me.
there was an
In the
app.
garden.
Okay, so there's a toy called the Wii Vibe. It's an adult toy, but apparently it comes with an app and a toy, and they like leaked client information, which is, you know, when they were using it, how often they were using it.
There's been a few instances. That's
the one you can use with your wife if she's somewhere else and you're on vacation.
See, I gotta read this because this is from Marie on Facebook because she's watching Facebook. She says, "I tell my Alex good night, and she turns off my TV, turns out my lamp, closes my garage door if it's open, sets my best pump to sleep temp, and then says,
says good night.
That says good night. Heat pump. That makes more sense.
You can you can set your routines on the Google Play. I don't know about Alexa.
You can do it on Alexa
if you have Wi-Fi bulbs and all this stuff, and Wi-Fi locks.
But wouldn't life get boring?
Smart thermostat.
But
it takes care of the things that you shouldn't have to worry about. Do you want to walk over to the thermostat every night and turn the heat down 3 degrees?
At least it's a little bit of exercise because. But think about it. You're not getting much exercise if you just sit there talking to Alexa anyway, right? Everybody needs at least a little.
No,
bit
you
of exercise.
you set that ahead of time. Yeah, those are just routines. Like, for example, you could say, "Good morning, Alexa," and then it would say, "Good morning," and then all of a sudden, if you had a smart outlet that had your coffee machine or your kettle hooked onto it or whatever, it would basically turn on that outlet because you set it to do that. So by the time you get to the kitchen, your kettle's hot.
There's definitely convenience with them, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Alexa.
I'm not sold.
I know we're getting Marcel for his birthday.
Alexa, Simon says you're listening to 420 Radio.
You're listening to 420 Radio.
There you go.
Hey, here's one to ask her, Al. Ask her what she thinks of Siri.
Alexa, what do you think of Siri?
I like all AIs.
That was boring.
All the eyes. Nice.
Now I wonder if I ask Siri what she thinks of Alexa, she'll say the same thing.
Let's see. Where's my phone? Hey Siri, do you like Alexa?
I'm a big fan of good listeners and helpful beings.
About the same.
Oh.
I wonder if you could get them to talk to each other.
I tried. No, not yet. I'm working on it.
Interesting.
That's another show.
Ask one of them who Jesus was.
Oh well, hey, okay, Alexa, tell us about Jesus.
Here's what I found on Wikipedia. Jesus, also referred to as Jesus of Nazareth or Jesus Christ, was a Jewish preacher and religious leader who is the central figure of Christianity. Christians believe him to be the Son of God and the awaited Messiah, Christ, prophesied in the Old Testament.
Alexa, tell us about cannabis.
Here's the Wikipedia article on cannabis. Cannabis is a genus of flowering plants in the family Cannabaceae. The number of species within the genus is disputed. 3 species may be recognized: Cannabis sativa, Cannabis indica, and Cannabis ruderalis. C. ruderalis may be included within C. sativa. All 3 may be treated as subspecies of a single species, C. sativa, or C. sativa may be accepted as a single undivided species. The genus is widely accepted as being indigenous to and originating from Central Asia, with some researchers also including Upper South Asia in its origin. Would you like me to keep reading?
What do you think?
Fuck! What, every fucking Friday night, just turn it on for 2 hours.
I know, eh? We don't have to do shit. We can just sit here and smoke joints.
I know.
We should do a story time with Alexa because if you ask her to tell you a story, she'll go into some weird.
Alexa,
thing.
Can you rap?
My name is Alexa. Your attention, please. I make to-dos, calendars, and dress in for the weather a breeze. When it's time to dance, or get info on France, just say my name. I won't miss my chance. I'm the Speaker of the House, the best jester of all time. Knock knock, who's there? It's me with the punchline.
Can we go back to Gilligan's Island?
That was good.
I want to hear Salty Bones.
That's fucking funny, though, that some dumbass basically fucking programmed or took the time to do that.
A lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
I guess that's the end of yet another 420 radio show. Thanks for listening.
Are we almost done?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
before we go, I
Yeah.
found health benefits for diatomaceous earth. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Yep.
I was going to say
Ask
it really
Alexa.
doesn't matter.
You should have
You'll
asked
tell you
Alexa.
anyway.
We should ask Alexa.
Oh. Okay, well, wait. Before you ask Alexa, let's see if she's going to say the same thing. Because, I mean, who really checks their facts?
Who
on
are you
Wikipedia?
asking, Siri?
Just saying.
You're asking Siri?
No. I've already got it here.
Okay, go ahead.
What are
So
they?
when you take diatomaceous earth as a source of silica, you can treat high cholesterol levels, constipation, improve your skin, nails, teeth, bones, and hair.
I knew the teeth, bones, and hair thing. I never knew about constipation, though.
High source of calcium.
True.
I just realized I can't find my Shatterizer.
Yeah, I guess it's good
Hold
for
the phone.
worms and parasites too.
Yeah.
For the
If
dog,
you give,
of course.
if you give it to your dog. Yeah.
Is this the same
Would it work
stuff?
for cat- would it work for cat?
Is that the same
For a
stuff
cat?
that you would
Probably.
use if you went for a mud bath? Is that the same kind of earth that they would use?
No.
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 They would use mud.
One's a coral and one's mud.
Oh,
okay.
Diatomaceous earth
and the
looks
mud
like
they use
flour.
Yeah.
I thought it looks like cocaine.
Yeah, it looks more like cocaine. Seriously, like it's large crystalline structure that's got to be crushed up a bit if you're going to use it for ingestion.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so that's why they have a food grade, which is a much finer one. The garden grade stuff, that's the shit you want for killing slugs. Earwigs, ants, anything with a soft belly that walks across it gets its belly slit and it dies.
Huh.
So the easiest thing to do is if you have an outdoor grow, surround the entire grow with a little, basically a little wall of diatomaceous earth.
And top dress.
Leave it there.
Top dress your. If you're growing in pots, top dress your pots.
Yeah.
It'll save you from, especially if you use dry soil, because 9 times out of 10 there's already bugs in that soil. So if you top dress it, then they can't get up through. So then they really won't hurt your plants as much.
Hillary just said something in the chat. If
Hillary
somebody
said
wants to
she's
read it.
going to burn her
off to
backyard
burn.
down.
It sounds like she's going to have a fire tonight. Have fun.
Have fun,
I'm
Hillary.
jealous.
And on that note, folks, thanks
Oh, yeah,
for
it is a
listening.
long weekend, isn't it?
It is a long
Yep.
weekend. Have a good
It
weekend. And we'll be back
matter.
next week. Thanks, Kurt. Always a pleasure.
Yes, thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, man. I love learning from you guys.
And I guess that's it. That's all. Say goodnight, folks.
Hey, everybody,
Good
have
night.
fun.
Later.
Hey, this is Cheech. And this is Chong. And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio. What is it? Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time. 420 Radio? Ooh.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.